Before we begin, thank you very much to RO83RT for pitching in over on Ko-fi. Yeah, that's the second time you have heard that name. They are double dipping, but they also kept the streak going for one more day because that's the last one I have in the queue. Once again, we are looking at going back to our regularly scheduled announcement of how many days the daily streak has been with tomorrow's news roundup. I do appreciate the direct pitching in on Ko-fi. Does help me out a lot. Thank you very much. This did bring up an oversight in this because, like, when we did the shout out streak on Patreon, it was mostly unique people jumping on board. This lets people double dip a lot easier, and that's appreciated. Please don't go out of your way. Please do not put yourself out just to keep this silly streak going. Like, please, I appreciate it. It helps a lot, but donate responsibly. I'm going to feel bad if people just keep pitching in just for the sake of keeping a joke going. You want to pitch in that much, just sign up on Patreon. Just help me out every month about it a little bit. So, we need to discuss. So, a new Transformer cartoon dropped, and this is Transformers Cyberworld, in which case I should probably just show you the logo up front, right, instead of Optimus Prime. So, now, I have been comparing Cyberworld and Takara's answer to the cancellation of Earthspark. I've been talking about both in comparison, and I'm going to say this up front because I know a lot of people are not going to be interested in a 5-minute cartoon aimed at kids, nor are you going to be interested in some, like some fully grown adult talking about a kid's cartoon for twice as long as it airs for. But I'm going to tell you this right now, where Takara, with their Wild King series, I think completely crushes Hasbro when it comes to the toys they're producing to replace Earthspark. When it comes to the cartoon, I really feel like it's flipped. I feel like Hasbro is putting on a much stronger effort and a more interesting effort in the fiction than what Wild King is doing. Because Wild King is really the epitome of, here's a toy. Go buy this toy, available now. This has a little bit of meat on the bone that I didn't expect. So yeah, I'm going to let you know what I think of it just for anyone who is curious. Not that, it's that hard to go about this. It's a series that does 5-minute episodes. But they posted episode 1 and 2 as one singular video, so we're going to be talking about everything we saw in there and kind of give my thoughts on exactly what this series turns out to be. Now we can look at Optimus Prime. We're going to start with the characters, and I'm going to tell you, like, Optimus Prime feels like where a lot of division is going to happen. So, it is a voice that is definitely trying to do its own thing. It has a little bit of the Cullen gruffness to it, but it is a lighter voice for Optimus Prime, and it's a more relaxed voice. He is not nearly as authoritative as he has been recently depicted in most cartoons. And I feel like a lot of people are going to feel like he's too silly when he should be like this stern commander character. But the truth is, he's actually fairly close to what G1 Optimus Prime really is. Not like the imagined thing that so many fans have, like this big, strong, powerful leader type. But no, like, this is Optimus Prime in this series is capable of the occasional joke. He does action movie quips. He's a little bit more on the lines of like a Marvel movie hero than like Optimus Prime from any of the movies. And I kind of like that. He feels like an Optimus Prime who has a little bit more personality and isn't taking himself so seriously, which is what a lot of Primes do way too often. So in that, okay, I don't mind this. And the voice itself, like, it ain't Cullen. They're going for something different, and that's for the best. I've been very much a proponent of finding new Optimus Prime voices so new generations can have their Peter Cullen. I don't know if this is going to be the guy, but it's not a bad voice. It's not a bad performance at all. And I will tell you, this is where I point out that the animation is better than the Wild King series because Optimus Prime's mouth plate actually moves and other characters' mouths move when they talk. Just to kind of briefly talk animation, the animation is decent. You know, it's a YouTube series, so it's not like super budgeted, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Like, I am perfectly okay with the visuals. So, Megatron in full bull mode. Interestingly enough, he interacts with Bumblebee in these episodes, and Bumblebee makes no comment about why Megatron is a bull. So this is just like a normal thing everyone is okay with, and this is not questioned in any way, shape, or form. Performance-wise, Megatron has this really deep and oddly seductive voice. It's definitely not G1. It's definitely not Welker. It's not really any Megatron I've heard. It's almost closer to like Machinima Netflix Megatron, like in that like deep tone, but more like they're trying to push some charisma forward with the voice as well. Like, it's a voice that wouldn't be out of place in like as for like the lead character of like a dark romance book or something. Which gee, my girlfriend's had those on my mind way too often lately. Point being, point being, um, it's a pretty good, it's a pretty good, it's a pretty good voice. It's definitely a different take. The Bull Megatron is weird. Character-wise, he's interesting. The first thing he tells Bumblebee is that, like, I'm no Decepticon and you're no Autobot. We're just survivors on this planet. And he's very survival of the fittest, because he does turn, spoiler alert for a 5-minute cartoon. He does turn his gun on Bumblebee, but it's more because Bumblebee showed him up. It wasn't because of factions or anything. He's more survival of the fittest in this series, which I think is going to make an interesting switch up. And Bumblebee was not inherently like aggressive toward him either. That was the other thing. So it might almost be one of those fictions where Autobots and Decepticons aren't always going at it with each other. We'll see. But Bumblebee himself, speaking of, this is where I think people are going to clash with the series a little bit. He feels very Transformers 1, for better or worse. He takes some of the more obnoxious aspects of Bumblebee to make a kid-friendly, jokey type of version of the character. I'm not necessarily sure that's the right idea. I'm not a fan of it, but like, it's very much a character for kids, so I'm not going to judge it too harshly. But I feel like he's somewhere in between like Cyberverse Bumblebee and Transformers 1 B127. I'm not entirely sure that's good, but it is what it is. And it'll be a fine little kid's character. That's fine. Oh, by the way, the animators have immediately outed themselves as meme lords, who apparently like might have something against Bumblebee, because the way we first see Bumblebee in the series, Yamcha posed, crater and all, and one of the last shots we get of him, Peter Griffin pose. They just threw the poor bug around in this series, and we're only 2 episodes in. And now I'm starting to feel bad for him. I don't know, maybe this will knock some obnoxiousness out of him. I don't know. To talk about the ones we didn't really see much of, Scorponok does make an appearance in episode 1. He just seems like a big brute of a character. The fight with him is actually really cool. It takes place in a desert, so you know they saw the 07 movie and went, I want my mechanical scorpion to do all that cool stuff in the sand. So this scorpion does cool stuff in the sand. And then he just kind of stops. Optimus gets away from him, and that's kind of it. We don't see the robot mode. We don't really get any like deep. There's no deep character. What am I talking about? It's a 5-minute cartoon for kids. We're not getting deep character. But it's a cool fight scene. I'll say that. It's well animated. It's well choreographed. It's what I want out of Optimus fighting a giant scorpion robot. It looks really cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing him again, taking on more than one Autobot at once. We also got to see Grimlock for a bit. This was another weird one. So Grimlock, for whatever reason, has a Russian accent in this one. He's not quite G1 stupid, but he is very aggressive. Even though he's wearing an Autobot symbol, he does not seem to recognize the symbols on Optimus Prime because he is on the attack. You're not going to get over the Russian accent thing anytime soon. Just don't even try. It's a really weird take on Grimlock. Really weird take on Grimlock. I'm not against it. I'm not necessarily against it though. That's the thing. Like, he's still okay. I'll accept him. I'll accept him for now. I'm more interested to see him when he's calmed down a little bit, so we might actually get a little bit of characterization to him, because we got really nothing this time around. He just served as another thing attacking Optimus Prime on this planet. And that's where we start getting this interesting idea here. This is where things start getting fascinating. So you saw this lush jungle that we see in the background. You saw the vast deserts. Okay, there's weird things going on. We were told in the lead up to this series that it would be about the Autobots and Decepticons facing video game-like challenges on a mysterious world. And that is pretty accurate. So there's indications that a lot on this world is actually digital in nature. Little glitches in the system where things start appearing blocky and pixelated, and no explanation. Obviously, because everyone who is here so far has no idea what's going on. They are just collaborating with the game. And when I mean the game, I mean like literally this is designed like a game. Like, here's your heads up display. You've got a mini map. You've got icons for what you currently have equipped, your current abilities. Your level is tracked on the top screen. You know, and this HUD is programmed into the Autobots as soon as we see them waking up. Like, the first shot we get is Optimus waking up, and he immediately gets a migraine because this game data, this heads-up display, and whatever it entails is instantly programmed into his brain. So now, yeah, like whoever lands here seems to be forcibly entered into whatever video game-like world this is. And when they said it was going to be video game-like, I didn't realize how literal that would be. Here's the stage that Megatron and Bumblebee faced. Break the targets! This is very much a Smash Brothers bonus level. It genuinely is. This is where Bumblebee kind of shows up Megatron, not because he's destroying more targets than Megatron. Oh, no. Megatron gets almost every single one that you see here, save for one. But the problem is the goal was to shoot the targets, not break the targets. So Megatron bashing through with an axe didn't exactly earn him any points. Bumblebee wins because he shot one target, which is kind of funny. It's kind of a funny way of giving Bumblebee a win over Megatron, though it does make him seem rather timid and ineffective because literally in this entire time, this whole countdown, he gets one shot off. I know it's a little bit anemic as far as the performance goes, but hey, at least Bumblebee here is shown to be a little bit clever. It's after this that Megatron shoots him, so you know. Here was the interesting thing. When Bumblebee completed the level successfully, the way it was intended, he actually got a power-up and went to level 2. But Megatron beside him, while Bumblebee was glowing blue, Megatron was falling to a knee glowing red. So the characters who, like Bumblebee, all that blue glow was going up to indicate like he's leveling up. Megatron's red was going down. So Megatron's heads-up display actually showed him at like level 8. He's been here for a while, and he's been doing this. So he's at a much higher level, which presumably means he's more powerful than the others here. But apparently, you can lose levels in this game if you are bested. So there is a little bit of a penalty and a risk to facing off with another Transformer in one of the planet's challenges. Now, now that does add a few questions, like what's the cap? Like, where is the top level of this? How powerful can a character get? And then the other one is, well, if I'm dropped to level 1 and I keep losing, what happens if I go all the way to the bottom of level 1? Is there a worse penalty here? Obviously, it's a kid's show, so probably not. And then of course, like, we see Optimus's HUD. He starts off next to 0, but not all the way there. We'll see. The planet also has spawn points for power-ups and items. This is an Energon cube that Optimus manages to take. And Grimlock's been at this for a while. He even calls it a spawn point. That's what made Grimlock so mad, that he's been camping the spawn point for weeks. And yes, he actually uses those words. Grimlock using gamer terms is weird. It's weird, guys. So yeah, there's some interesting competitions going on this planet. Like, literally the entire planet seems to be programmed to be some kind of game. And it's playing with those tropes a lot too. The desert is literally right next to the lush jungle. Just as if, like, in a video game, going from the ice world to the volcano world, as if they were right next door to each other. That's something that's a weird little leftover trait from, like, the 8 and 16-bit eras of video games, where didn't really need a coherent story or a through line to get from one point to another. Just come up with cool stages, put them in the order of difficulty, and call it a video game. And this kind of runs the same way, and that's kind of fascinating. There is something up to this, though. Bumblebee had a flashback where he can see Optimus and, in fact, other Transformers getting sucked in by this, like, digital warp, which presumably got Bumblebee as well. So they're not flying into this planet, they're being taken there, meaning that this might not even exist in a physical world. This might literally just be entirely in cyberspace, and whatever got warped out was maybe just their minds, and they're just trapped in here until they actually complete the games. So there is something mysterious going on in the planet. They hint at it pretty heavily. We can kind of put it together, but I'm not certain because there's not strong enough explanations. So now I'm really curious. I'm genuinely curious about the storyline of this, unlike, like Wild King, where I'm just kind of like, okay, Megatron's got 5 dinos now, so he's at full power. Optimus is screwed. Just waiting for him to get a pet bird so he can fight the same level. Not a big depth story there. But this one has a little bit of bite to it. This one has a little bit of meat on the bones. So I'm not going to, like, review this episode by episode as they come out, but every now and then we'll peek our heads in and see what's going on. Also, while the humor in this series is very much aimed at kids, it's, Bumblebee's obnoxious, but most of it's fine. There's a little bit of subtlety going on too that shows me that, like, the writers, they're kind of clever here. Like this gag where Optimus escaping from Grimlock looks at him in the rear view mirror, and there literally is, like, the images in mirror are closer than they appear message on the mirror in Cybertronics. That's perfect. That's a subtle gag only Transformer fans are going to get. Older fans are the only ones who are going to get that. I'm glad they put stuff like that in. They know a few older fans are going to be watching this. So I'm not expecting tremendous things, but honestly, this is a much better attempt than I was afraid of. Like, this was enjoyable. Like, okay, yeah, it's only 10 minutes worth of animation, but nothing put me off about it. A lot of the writing actually seemed to be very coherent and even clever at times. And yeah, like, it's a pleasant little sit down and watch if you've got, 5-10 minutes to burn. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised here. we'll see how it does. You know, it's on YouTube, so you can keep track of the view counts pretty easily. We'll see if this actually takes off, if this is the way to go for Transformer series from now on. And we'll see how it develops from here, because they got, what, 30 plus episodes to run? A lot to go. So, those are the thoughts. That's the breakdown. That's the speculation. As I said, going twice as long as the episodes themselves. So, if you watch it, let me know what you thought in the comments below. And as always, I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.